Welcome back. We're back. Here we go. One more day at this. Yeah, more than one more day. Today's one more day. We're going to get started today as inner fenders, front. I keep thinking already. Core support we're going to put on. Try to get the inner fenders on. Today's the solving problems day, and I want to talk to you about that real quick. I've been trying to make good content for you guys and make it fun and make things happen kind of quick, that way you can enjoy the show. But I do want to say, last week I mentioned that I broke something. I broke my throttle cable, and I was just going to buy a new one. And I thought, well, you know, we're fixing stuff, and the theme of this is how to make things work and how to get past some of these troubled times. And I've had a few this week. So we're going to run through those real quick, and then we're going to get started on putting these inner fenders and core support in this thing. So we'll start off with that, what do I call it? Throttle cable. Let me take you over there and show you. So I was tightening this down, and it's aluminum, that bolt right there. And I thought I'd go a little tighter, and I broke it. I broke this right off because it's aluminum, and it's hollow because the cable runs through it. So what I ended up doing is I brought it back in the shop. I put this on a lathe, and I turned this round part out with this threaded part on there. Basically made a bolt with no head on it. So if you didn't have a lathe, you could just get a bolt about that long, the right threads on it, or even a new bolt. It doesn't have to be that same nut. And all you gotta do is drill a hole through the center of it for the cable to run through, and you could have fixed it yourself. So that's all aluminum, so I built it out of a piece of billet aluminum and fixed it in the name of, I don't know, why keep buying new stuff if you don't have to? My second issue was, I had mentioned to you guys before about the header and how it didn't fit in here. Now you're not gonna be able to see it because I finally got it in there. And I didn't do that on camera because I thought nobody wants to watch me struggle and fight through that darn thing. See if I can get you where you can see something. I guess you're not gonna. But the output on it was running right down into the cross member. So I did the pie cuts, welded it up, and it turned out, you know, decent. But they're all wrapped. It's down there where, heck, I can't get you to see it if I wanted to. So I fixed that rather than buying a new one. It's those kind of things that frustrate you in the shop, and you think, what am I going to do? Well, there. It's not perfect, but who's ever going to know? I think it looks pretty good. I mean, it's got this extra piece right here where that nut should just go against it, but why does that matter? It works perfectly. Saved me $38, I think, for that braided type. So I didn't replace it. I fixed it. I had one other issue, and I can't remember what it was. We're going to have an issue on this today, I promise. And we're going to figure out how to get through it. Don't be afraid of your project. I get that way. Let me show you some other stuff. So you come over here, and we're looking at how you're going to bolt. Yeah, this isn't going to work. How am I going to bolt on my inner fenders down here? Over here, people. Don't be looking up there all the time, although I appreciate that. Underneath here, there's a bolt that was all boogered up. I'm like, what am I going to do? It's welded. Well, just take it easy. Run a tap through it. Clean it out. It's going to be all right. So, in the name of fixing stuff, I took a little time and did that. And that's what I've been doing this week. So, let me get you back here where you can see. I got you up about 6 foot tall, so you're the same height I am. And we're going to put that front core support on. And it's going to go swimmingly, as they say. I'm sure it'll be fine. I always act like it's going to be a problem. The good thing is there's no new parts, so it's not like if I ordered that new cable, it probably would have been a big jump anyway. So I haven't done one of these in a while. I don't remember how to do this. I should have done this before you guys showed up, so I wouldn't look stupid. Oh, because it goes back here. I don't care. I'm not worried about looking stupid. You guys can think what you want. Laugh at me because I didn't dust this off first. Whatever. And I'll have to figure out how these go back in there again because I don't remember. I mean, I do, but I don't. You're just not familiar with this stuff if you don't do it every day. And I certainly don't do it every day. Does that look like a truck already? Now I put a lot of, here's what I do. This is a suggestion. Get a package of baggies. They're cheap. Every nut and bolt you take out, stick in a baggie. I don't care if you have 4 baggies for one part of the project. You know, it doesn't matter. They're cheap. You reuse them. Talking, not thinking. Oh, one of these. that I took off from whoever did it before didn't have that bushing in there. So I just took a piece of pipe, cleaned it up a little bit. Because what's the bushing except a piece of pipe? I don't remember. It's got to go that way. Absolutely. Oh, look at that. Could you hold that for me? No, you're not going to hold that for me. This will be a much easier gut with two people. But I work alone quite often, so you figure out how to work one-handed, and that's half of everything you do running that camera anyway. See how much you're running into trouble. We're going to get this on there. It's going to go, I'm sure of it. Oh, won't see long enough. Got it. Sure is. Now sometimes working alone you'll have to put it together more than once. What I mean is, like right now I'm just throwing a bolt on there. And maybe that's all I need to do, but it might need a washer. Once we get it together, oh, I like that, it won't fall on the floor. I said it won't fall on the floor. It might fall on the floor. There it goes again. The camera looking stupid. Alright, that's alright. I usually take everything off 2 or 3 times. Nope, every time. Like I told you guys last time, I will videotape just the last time, but I never know when the last time's going to be. Oh, that's because there's a washer right here. See, that's a big washer. Now that won't fall on the floor. Of course, it's one more thing for me to get that bolt blindly. Now look at that. And it might need a lock washer on it. Yeah, we're not going there. One side in already. Let me walk around you real quick, check the other side. Yep. Go to this other side. We're making headway now. We're making things happen. I'm excited. Are you excited? This is fun. You're going together way too good. Which way did I do that? Oh, it's got to go in that pocket. And I already put the ball in. Got it back and forth. But today I want to show you some difficulties, things you run into when you work on these trucks. I mean, these trucks are 50 years old, 51, 52, whichever model you got. There's a lot of people had their hands in here. A lot of your garage mechanics that don't know any more than I do. But maybe they're less familiar with it than I am. Did I tell you? I just started this video and I'm not a mechanic. I didn't go to school for this stuff. But that's okay. You figure it out. How did I do that one? I like how I did that one. I want to do this one the same. Yep, that makes sense. Smash it down in here. I'm going to put some, I didn't explain how these work. It's not really important, but when you crush this down, you actually smash this. It allows it to slide. I don't know. We don't have to know everything works. I've learned that in my life. When I was a kid, I wanted to know how everything worked. Take things apart, figure out how they work. Now I don't much care how they work. I just want them to work. And not be quite so much work. I'll wipe this down. I'll get her cleaned up good before I get the grill on it and all that. But hey, boys and girls, look at there. Kind of looks like a truck. It looks bigger than ever. It's been so small all this time. Now it's getting big again. All right, well, let's not get cocky. We got a long way to go still. This is going to be really. I only got one bolt in the back. And then I got to hold the front. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Figure it out in front of you. I'm not going to wait till later on this one. I'm going to do it right now. So let me get you readjusted over here so you can see this. That's just going to be in your way, isn't it? I'll get you over here next to my chair. All right, so inner fender. I hope to get the outer fenders on it, at least mocked up, because I got to do some touch-up on them. Now, I'm not doing too much touch-up because we're going with the theme of the original, drug it out of the weeds, cleaned it all up, and driving it. So let me talk about this real quick. I just had this in the drawer. This isn't the actual one, but there is a, oh, I'll show you. There's a big hole in this fender. And there's this bolt's got to go through there. Well, I would say that's not going to work. And I'm assuming they did it for alignment issues. So you can put this on there, you can slide it whichever way you need to. I mean, you can go way over here and fill a gap if you had to, in order to give you the adjustment on that welded bolt down there. So that's how that works. These are LMC fenders. They're pre-painted. One came mint condition. This one came, well, it's got a couple little scratches on it, but I'm not going to fret about it. If I was making a show truck, I'd have it in the paint booth, blah, blah, blah. Now the front of this goes underneath the core support. So I can't lay it on there to hold it. So we'll just be prepared for this to be loud and obnoxious. Kind of like me. Sometimes I'm loud and obnoxious. I'm going to scratch stuff up, putting it in and out. And I'll have to touch my paint up too, but that's all part of the game. If there's two guys and build a show truck, I'd have, you put paper and felt and carpet and all kinds of stuff around so you don't scratch things up. And they still scratch stuff up, but they can do a lot less touch-up than I have to do. Come on, people are watching me. Come on. Am I close? I look like I'm close. I look like I'm close. Oh, there it is. I got it. I got it. Got it. That was a piece of cake. Nice. Yeah, I'm not too fond of those scratches. It'll be all right. Now I just got a bunch of bolts over here that I keep in stock, and they're standard bolts because we don't have a lot of metric on this truck. I originally had none. So now we have to try and, I'll just show you, get this up in these front bolts. Now, I did cheat a little because I'm going to videotape. I'm always worried about videotaping. I don't know why. Why am I afraid? Videoing's just another project. I shouldn't be afraid of it. But I run a tap through those first just to make sure the threads go through real nice. You should anyway. It's good practice. You're not lining up at all. I'm gonna I think, hold on. I got it. Got two in a row. It looks a little flimsy because, well, it is. These just kind of easy. Kind of set there. A lot of these parts are going to move and be flexible. They don't seem very sturdy. I can't see either. It'll be very sturdy at first, but as you get things bolted together more and more, put the fenders on, they all tie together, it becomes just rock solid. Must be that side's got to go forward. And if I put the other fender on, I'm not ready for that yet. Well, it's going together pretty good though. Let me slide this over, I'll be right back there. Get myself a little tweak. Nope, it's not going at all. Maybe I can still get it in there. Do you think that one bolt in the back wouldn't hold much? It is. I'd like to get two of these three lined up anyway. Make me feel like it's more in a proper position. Doing my wiring, trying to get that out of the way, get it behind us, and you can't. You find yourself, when you try to get the air conditioning wires done, you can't. Because it feeds from this side for the power. Well, my fuse box does. And then you have this cable and this green cider wire, I call it, that's kick-on wire, will come out, and they have to go over to the inner fender. So, as I said, inner fender. Well, I can't finish that until I get the inner fenders in. You get the idea. It kind of dictates how you're going to do things, even though you got your eyes set on getting this part of the project done. That's not how it's going to happen. I sometimes wonder in the assembly line how they were able to put this truck together in such a fashion that, I guess they figured it out, but half the air conditioning gets done in this part of the line, the other half down there. Somebody was thinking. Now I got them wires jammed through there and I probably would be unhappy with that. So I thought I could pull them back through, but there's not much room there. If I gotta take that fender back loose, I'm not gonna be happy. Anyhow, this wiring harness has to go in this fender. We're not there yet. We gotta get the other inner fender on, and then we'll have something kind of holds the truck together. So let's give that a whirl. Come on over here. We're gonna give this a shot. Move my cart back a little bit. Well, we got one done pretty quick. Let's see how well we do on this one. It's much the same. It couldn't possibly be more difficult. Yes, it will be. I assure you. So let me grab it. Yeah, I got it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Yeah. Boy, I don't know. Easy. How come I got less room over here? I'm doing it right. It's not fitting already. Don't push on that too hard, do you? It'll go. Come on, fit in there. Not too high? Yeah, not too high. No, I can't. Tire too big? Come on. Let's try to toughen. We didn't have this problem on this side, did we? I don't remember. It went so well, I already forgot. Alright. Just stay right there. You get my bolt. Oh, we're going to talk. I said this before, but we're going to talk about anti-seize and thread lock. And, well, we already covered thread lock, but some anti-seize issues. Galvanic corrosion. Look forward to that. That's going to be a fun conversation. It'll get lots of arguments, but I'm not going to make a lot of statements. I'm just going to draw your attention to anti-seize in general is a good thing to use if you plan on taking something apart again. I don't plan on taking this apart again, so I shouldn't worry about it. But being that I've taken everything apart more than once already, I should be worried about it. Yeah, you'd think this should be the same as the other side, but everything's a little different side to side. Depends on, like my face here in the heater box area, there's not one on the other side, so I don't have that. I know that's loud. So here was a anticipation of an issue I had. I'll take you over here and show you this. Problems, things you run into. So over here, you tilt it down in there. These are the bolts I just put in from the bottom right here. You can see that one. And then there's three. There's one and there's one inside. But that inner fender bolts to the bottom of this core support. Over here is the battery tray side, which, you know, lots of issues here. But back in the day, you can look that way, I guess. They didn't have overflows for the radiator. When the radiator would overflow, like from getting hot, they just ran a tube down and let it drip on the ground. Well, it dripped all in here on these inner fender wells. And the constant little drizzle of antifreeze rotted them out. And then your battery tray goes right here. And sometimes your battery gets a little acidy when it's charged and different things. And back then they didn't have the sealed batteries like we do now. And the battery acid would drip down. And it would rot this bottom piece out. This one has been replaced, not by me. And as you may notice, I know you're upside down, but as you may notice, now spin your arm. Oops, sorry. There's no bolt holes in there. You can see the bolt holes for my fender and no bolt holes here. So, another problem. I know, you can't see. I can get a light. Another problem we got to deal with, people. And it's not an issue. It really isn't. I got a light. I can get some light on the issue. It's not going to be a problem, but right in my eye every time. All right. What we're going to do, we're going to get a clamp. I wasn't ready for that, but I got this. I shouldn't scratch it too bad, right? And All right, I got another one over here. So we'll clamp it up. And then when we get it clamped up in the proper position, at least we hope, it's going to be hard to know for sure because, well, there's no holes to line up with. And if that inner fender well is out or in, it's not going to line up with the actual fender. So it's something to be concerned about. That is bent. I didn't order it bent. Is it pre-bent? Why is everything pre-bent? All right, well that's an old video. We're not going back to that. So we're going to line this up where we think it goes. I wasn't quite prepared for that. I got these cute little clamps. They're old. Get it up where you think it goes. Hey, look at there. Everything's coming together. And you clamp it in place. Do some measuring. If you have two trucks, it's nice to be able to, I don't know, I keep getting in your way. We ain't got a lot of room here. It's nice to take and look at another vehicle that's around and see the measurements on it, but not everybody has two of them. So I'm kind of half cheating when I do that. It's never cheating, whatever works. So we got that lit up down there pretty good. I can get you a little closer, and you can really see. So we got that lined up pretty good. We'll do some measurements from the end as to how level the underneath the inner fender is to the front core support. We'll take some measurements along the frame, see if it's supposed to be straight. It's not going to give us all the things that we want, all the measurements we could dream of. I can't believe that's bent. I'm done crying about the bent. It'll bend back. But we can get a pretty good idea as to where it fits. We can either drill those holes now and hook this all together, or we could put the fender on. I'm thinking about putting the fender on. So if we come around and we put the fender on it, even if it's only temporary, then we can adjust that inner fender forward, backwards, left, and right to match the outer fender, and then drill our holes. So I wasn't ready to do this, but I don't know, we can do it. Oh, here, you know what? Being that today's about solving problems, let me pull you over here real quick. I'm going to take you over on that side too. When I took this truck apart, these fenders, the last bolt to take out of these fenders, again, you're not going to be able to see it, but there's a bolt hole right here. On the inside of this solid cowl that you can't get to is a welded nut, just like this one on top. And when I went to the other side to take it loose, it stripped the nut off inside. The weld broke. I'd like to blame GM, but you can't blame GM for everything. So this bolt right here was stripped off on the inside, and I was able to fish through the cowl with a long extension and a swivel and some fancy words. But what I end up doing is putting in a zert nut. I don't know if you've ever seen a nut zert, or there's a million names for them. People call them all kinds of stuff. But I put one in there, and they usually have shims on them anyway, so being that it has a little bit of a raised lip, shouldn't be a problem. I should be able to get that fender on there. Now let's try. Before you guys go, let's give it a whirl. Let me get that light out of your eyes. I'm going to grab my fender, and we're going to try and get this fender put on. I didn't know this would go this quick. I'd never, in a million years, I would have been ready. I would have had stuff ready. I would have pulled my fender out. I got my fender in my hands. I'm fine. Just come on here with it. I'm trying to get this on there without scratching it worse than it is. You know, they don't make fenders like these anymore. Heavy, heavy. Now, this fender's got some issues, but it's the original. And that's our main concern, is try and keep things original. Will that sit there for a minute? So here's my next problem. You can probably see that already. So this fender, when I bought the truck, had a rust hole right here. Just a little one. I think a mouse had made a nest up under the lip, because there was some mouse house debris. So I cut out all the rust around that hole, and it was only back a little bit. It was kind of weird how it rusted. And I filled it and I sanded it, and I'm pretty happy with it. Of course, a little tiny hole ends up being this big. But I don't know if I'm going to leave it as part of the truck, or I might repaint it. That's what this square over here is. When I get my paint match, I'll have them paint match it off of this part of the truck. it'll be just a touch darker than this, not enough to notice. And then I can use that paint other places, so it's a good blend. And I probably will blend that in. These chips and stuff when somebody took the hood off. I don't know. You want to make one part too nice, too nice, and we're going to have that with the roof already. So I got to get a bolt for this. And my triangle. I should get a bolt for that. So if you can hang on it. Careful, careful. Get back of my parts rig. Let's go over here and check it out. Check it out with me. Remember how the back of this was just full of bolts? I mean, we had our bolts, parts, lots of parts. Remember that part I was telling you about? Baggies. What we got right here? Fender. All right. Well, passenger hood fender. We better grab that one too. All right. Yep. We got both of them. One of them's bound to be right. Right? I don't know. All right, I think that'll be good for you. Dump these out on the table. I got one taped up in there, and I don't know what that's about. We're gonna dump it out. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. This was the fender bag. Now I took this apart 2 years ago. And I got this in here. What I got wrote on there? Driver's side. Huh. I guess I'll leave that taped up just the way it was. Good thing I did that. I would have never known what the heck I was talking about. I think that's the right bolt right there. It appears to be right. Okay, there's one. Now, the front of this, if you can see that close, I don't know. Yep. The front of this bolts through this triangle. That'll really sturdy this core support up a lot. So let's see what we got. If I remember right, there were 2 different sized bolts for that. But I want to pre-fit them even though I didn't clean them first. Because I wasn't thinking we'd get this far, alright? Oh, no, they go here. That was that. I think that's the right one. Boy, I hate to cross-thread something today. You know what? I bet it ain't. You just got to figure some of this stuff out. Yeah, there's 2 of them. That fits better. We can use that. All right, here we go. We're going to give this a try. If I get this in, we're done for the day. We're going to call it good. If I can get it in there, well, I say if I can get it in, I can get it there. But I can get it there without scratching everything, all the bits. All right, so that goes. It's not looking good, people. What am I hitting on? Oh, I'm hitting on that stupid clamp I put down there. That vice grip clamp is not supposed to be there. How's this gonna work? I don't know. Once you guys watch it, you'll see what. Oh. Let go. I don't know about that. We'll see in a minute. Let's fit up this again. Don't worry. This fender will be on and off a couple of times before I'm done. Let me get just out of reach. There's no way it's going on one time, that's for sure. But we can fit it up. Get the first fit up try. I don't like what I'm seeing over here, but I'm not going to tell you what it is because it looks really bad. Alignment issue is all. Well, that lines up good. Get in there. I should have ran up through. All right, I'm sweating now. But that looks good. Starting to look like a truck. Have I said that before? Well, I told you I'm not a mechanic yet. I meant to. Well, you can see what I can see. Boy, it hasn't looked like that in a long time. She is coming together. We're going to just leave that alone. We'll leave it just like that and enjoy it for a minute. You know what? I can't help myself. We might as well. We did one. Can we do another one? Although they look different. That bolt looks a little different than that bolt. First, I broke that one off, so maybe it is a different one. By God, I think that'll work. Doesn't thread in as nice as it could. And then this one fits up here, I believe. It goes in the fender. I don't know about this one over here. Would you mind if I ran it in and out one time first? Yeah, mechanic. You're always looking for a tool. Always looking for the right socket. How come I had all my tools out? Find the right socket. Let me grab a socket. All right, I hear the parts truck backing up. I gotta go. So, we'll see you next time. Thanks for coming and we'll be back.